You can't look me in the eyes and tell me that this is the same Luka Doncic that we watched last season.
Luka from just inside half court. Luka
Tricked him.
and Luka goes right around him and dunks again.
Right here.
Oh, Luka finds Dennis. The long pass complete like that with a beautiful spin move. He's got 5 fouls. Smith slipped. He found Luka. Luka late clock. He loves it. Step back, and that's why, baby.
Doncic. Oh, nice step back, and he fouls.
Luka threw down 25 dunks as a rookie, followed by 14 in year 2. Fast forward to the electric 2022 playoff run, just 15 games, but 8 statement dunks. Now brace yourself for this. Across his last 2 full NBA seasons combined, playoffs included, Luka has slammed home exactly 3 dunks. That's 3 dunks over a whopping 120 regular season games and 27 playoff battles. Ladies and gentlemen, rims and backboards have never been safer. But if you guys are enjoying the content, then be sure to do me a quick favor, smash that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell. It's quick, it's free, and it's hands down the best way to make sure that more of the content that you love keeps hitting your feed. For Luka, it's not about total dunks. That alone isn't the issue. Plenty of elite players barely ever leave the ground and still dominate. Nikola Jokic is a prime example of this, dunking on less than -2% of his career shot attempts. But when a player who once soared effortlessly above the rim suddenly grounds himself and looks like they've lost a lot of that explosiveness without suffering a major injury, you've got to wonder what's really going on. This isn't a choice, like the one that Josh said he was making to preserve his health and longevity. It's a red flag. Maybe the athleticism is faded, maybe conditioning took a nosedive, but one thing's for sure, something changed, and it wasn't looking good. When Luka arrived in the league, he was faster, he was more agile, and he was more explosive. One of the things that allowed him to quickly adapt to the NBA and have a sensational rookie season was his vastly underrated athleticism. That goes beyond just his hops, and although he has grown a lot as a player and learned to maximize his unorthodox frame, even his talent isn't always going to be able to save him when he's not in peak condition. There's one overlooked reality about European basketball that might have played a role in Luka's problems. Across the pond, the most gifted talents don't have the luxury of just being kids. Ricky Rubio's journey in Spain is a textbook example. Stepping onto the court in the country's top league at just 14 years old. Imagine that, a kid tossed into a world of grown men, forced overnight into adult expectations, constant travel, grueling daily practices under relentless scrutiny, older players eager to expose him as overrated, all before he could even drive. As Ricky himself recently revealed, that early jumpstart took a heavy toll, leaving his mental health battered after spending nearly 2/3 of his life in the unforgiving spotlight of professional basketball. Luka's journey mirrors Rubio's in more ways than one, as Ricky carved out a legendary international career and a great NBA career as a reliably good starting point guard. Luka burst onto the scene like a supernova. He debuted in Spain's top league at just 16, and by 18, he had already started taking center stage as the undisputed star of Real Madrid, one of Europe's basketball powerhouses. Then, at only 19, Luka dominated the EuroLeague, securing both the championship and MVP honors in what's universally recognized as the second toughest club competition in the world. He was a teenager, routinely going head-to-head with seasoned vets, former NBA players, and navigating the brutal pressure cooker environments of European arenas, which I can say dwarf the NBA ones. Luka wasn't just forced to grow up fast. He had to become legendary overnight, and stay legendary. He's never even had the luxury of comfortably kicking his feet up and relaxing Homer Simpson style. Not even for a moment. Remember when he carried the Mavericks franchise all the way to the finals, and then management swooped in and snatched the beer right out of his hand like he was some sort of kid caught with candy before dinner? I get it. Big game coming up, you have to stay sharp. But did they really have to roll up and snatch it from him like a teacher catching an 8th grader scrolling YouTube shorts mid-final exam? It's no accident that Nico Harrison hustled this guy out of the door so many months later, then made it his personal mission to let anyone within shouting distance know how genius that move supposedly was. The Mavericks didn't trust Luka. In Dallas, rumors swirled that this man tipped the scales at almost 270 pounds. Yet, somehow, the second that he threw on a Lakers jersey, it didn't seem like he was even sniffing that number. And even if he was once pushing 270, it wouldn't erase the fact that we're talking about a top 5 player in their prime. Facing elimination against the Timberwolves in Game 5, Luka's defense hit rock bottom as he gave up a staggering 9 blow-bys on just 16 drives defended, giving Nico Harrison reasons that he didn't need to smirk and say, "I told you so." But even with critics like Charles Barkley relentlessly roasting him and claiming that Luka couldn't guard a chair, the offensive genius was still undeniable, battling through illness, injuries, no center, and a barrage of criticism. He still managed to put up an eye-popping stat line of 30.2 points, 7 boards, and 5.8 assists per game on 45.2% from the field, reminding everyone exactly why his team was in the NBA Finals the year prior. Simply put, an out-of-shape Luka is better than no Luka. And that's not a controversial take. Luka deserves his fair share of blame. But let's not pretend that the Mavericks didn't make this entire situation worse. He was constantly playing hurt, gutting it out through injuries. And what did he get in return? A shrug from the organization. It's no wonder his defense slipped when he was routinely playing hurt. He couldn't even trust the people who were supposed to be keeping him healthy. Earlier this year, the Mavericks had to cut ties with a member of their training staff. And look, it happens. Sometimes you have to let guys go. But this guy, he didn't even have the proper credentials. The Mavericks had Derek Lively II going through high-intensity return-to-play workouts, only for a CT scan to shortly reveal that he had a stress fracture in his right ankle. So tell me, how was Luka supposed to trust a medical staff that can't even spot a broken bone before ramping a guy up like it's Game 7? Luka is now definitely in a better environment, and unfortunately for Nico Harrison and the Mavericks, at this moment, Luka looks leaner and sharper than he's been in ages, which has to have JJ Redick smiling ear to ear, especially after he didn't hold back when last season wrapped up, saying this: "We have a ways to go as a roster." And certainly there are individuals who were in phenomenal shape. There are certainly other ones that could have been in better shape. That's where my mind goes immediately, is we have to get into championship shape. Windhorst agreed that JJ was referencing Luka here, but did we really need anybody to tell us that? Earlier this summer, The Athletic dropped an inside scoop revealing that the Lakers star had locked into a rigorous diet that's helped him shed some serious pounds this offseason. Here's exactly how they put it. Doncic has been incredibly committed to his conditioning this offseason. He's dropped significant weight and is working on strict diet and cardio training, according to a source with knowledge of the plan. In a shift away from his normal offseason, he spent the month away from on-court work to focus more on his body. Doncic has looked visibly slimmer in his photos. Every summer, like clockwork, we get these wild headlines making us believe that Rudy Gobert has somehow discovered Steph Curry range, Ben Simmons has miraculously morphed into LeBron 2.0 complete with a jump shot, and Russell Westbrook is suddenly a sharpshooter that defenses now can't ignore. It's calmed down now, but we've been getting stories like that for the longest. What I'm trying to say is that while some offseason hype is entertaining and maybe even prophetic, let's be honest, a lot of it is just recycled noise destined to flop as soon as the real games tip off. This Luka Doncic situation, however, feels different. He's been grinding harder and locked in like we've never seen since these concerns first surfaced. It's feeling like the hype matches the reality. Check out how lean and locked in that Luka looks right here, casually splashing a half-court shot like it's a free throw. If he's rolling into the regular season looking this sharp, the rest of the league might as well start losing some sleep right now. Luka doesn't need to morph into some elite defender to turn Los Angeles into a matchup nightmare. With Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton now backing him up, even being halfway decent on defense will be enough for the Lakers to haunt opposing teams all season long. Luka looks like he has reached the breaking point with all of the chatter. He's probably got Nico Harrison's comments on loop in his head, fueling that fire. He's determined to silence the critics, put on a show for the Lakers faithful, and proudly rep Slovenia at Eurobasket later this August. But above all, he's doing this for himself. It also has to help that he's gotten the opportunity to be in the same locker room with a legend that is notoriously known for doing everything possible to be in the best shape and available when it matters the most. If there's one thing that LeBron James can teach him in the big 2025, it's how to take care of his body.
Which Bron was better?
Miami Heat Bron.
Miami Heat Bron.
Miami Heat.
I'm going this Cavs Bron because this
Man.
Cavs Bron had a 3.
Man, y'all
Heat Bron was
crazy.
That
Miami
might be the
Heat
best
Bron
Bron we ever
was,
seen. I ain't gonna lie.
he was on steroids, bro. He had to sit out. He was on steroids for real.
Nah, I give you
like legit was on steroids, bro. I'm allegedly, but like he had to sit out. But y'all remember when they told him like
There goes the Clutch Sports allegations.
Y'all remember that though?
Nah,
When they was like, he got everybody, they started testing for HGH, and they was like, yo, and he had to sit out. Like he said his back was hurt, and he sat out for like 3 weeks, and he came back skinny. This is just, I was in the league, I remember. And he came back in, he was crazy though,
Nah,
bro.
that might have been the best Bron, bro.
Some folks love poking fun at the Broninator, joking that he's gotta be sipping from some secret Space Jam serum to perform at this level. But LeBron James simply won life's genetic jackpot, and he's never taken that for granted. Rumor has it that LeBron James spends over $1.5 million annually on his body. LeBron James himself laughed off that number, saying that it's less about the cash and more about the relentless dedication that he puts into maintaining his peak condition. It's always refreshing to see GOATs who truly respect their talent and never waste their gifts. Think LeBron James, Victor Wembanyama, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Hey, we were just talking about Real Madrid legends with Luka Doncic, so you already know that I had to shout out the GOAT himself, a la Madrid. Now again, maybe Luka will be the latest one to fool us, but I really can't see it, because what we are seeing is a total mindset change from Luka Doncic. He recently did a spot with Men's Health magazine that highlights his new mindset and also how good that he now looks. And the piece starts off hot because it starts by saying that Luka Doncic knows that you're thinking that he looks lean as heck now, and that's because he's thinking the exact same thing. The piece notes that starting in June that Doncic has gone on an intermittent fasting plan that is designed to limit inflammation and to help his body recover better, and that 6 days a week he chokes down 2 high protein meals and 1 protein shake, and he doesn't have that first meal until he's crushed his 90-minute morning workout first. Basically, he's sticking to a gluten-free, low-sugar diet that includes at least 250 grams of protein and 1 almond milk-centric shake a day. While in the gym, his team has him doing 2-a-days and has him focused on footwork and deceleration, 2 things that have helped to separate him as a player. Luka's extraordinary balance and body control are major reasons that he arrived in the league as one of the most gifted athletes. As the article rightly points out, elite athleticism isn't always about blazing speed or sky-high jumps, but for what it's worth, Luka actually did have some decent bounce when he entered the league. While he didn't compete at the 2018 draft combine like the article incorrectly initially stated as he was with Real Madrid, and he doesn't have a 42-inch vertical like the article initially stated either, like I said, Luka did have some decent bounce, and he actually thinks that he jumps higher now than ever. If Luka came into the league with a 42-inch vertical like the article initially stated, how many players do we think would have ended up being better than him all time? I'm crying laughing at the thought of Luka coming down the lane and cocking the ball back like a prime LeBron James, or soaring through the air and blocking shots like a Min Thompson. Yeah, this article had some slop in it that needed to be corrected, but overall, I thought that the article had a fun tone. I loved how the article playfully admitted that Luka's probably not about to line up against Daisho Speed in a sprint off anytime soon, shout out to Ashton Hall, but still makes it clear that he's absolutely crushing his own lane. And can we talk about this magazine cover for a second? Luka looks insane. I really haven't seen him this lean since his rookie season or those Madrid days. Like Luka himself said, if he stops now, all of this hard work is wasted. We might genuinely be seeing the birth of Luka Doncic 2.0, fully healthy, fully locked in, and ready to dominate.
after that deal was made, the Mavericks got a lot of criticism regarding it. And then they start to leak out stuff, well, we don't know if he's ever going to be in shape. You should mail him a copy of the Men's Health magazine.
They probably saw it, so I don't have to worry about that.
What do you guys think? Could we finally be staring at Luka's first MVP season? If the Lakers are one of the best teams in the league, then I wouldn't be that surprised if he runs away with it. If I snag that first overall pick in fantasy basketball, you better believe that Luka's coming off of the board. I'm trying to go back-to-back this year, and I need him to help me do it. I'm one of those guys that never gets a top pick, probably because the universe just knows that it would be unfair or something, but please, let this be the year. Anyways, there's some more going on in the basketball world that we have to be covering. So clicking one of the videos that's on the screen right now is a great way to support this channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop. Until our next upload.